Good morning, everyone. I am so happy to see you again. Today is Monday, and I have a list of domestic chores I want to accomplish today. Let's see. I want to continue to plant seed potatoes in the garden. Earlier today, I picked up some red Norland and some more Yukon Gold seed potatoes. I need to clean and polish a 19th century gate leg table, and I should probably practice piano. But before we do anything, I want to make a reward for all of this work. So we are going to make a heaven-scented pound cake. My oven is preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. And I have greased and lined a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan. I'm going to set this aside, and I have my mise en place. All of my ingredients are ready to go. So I have 1 cup or 227 grams of softened butter here. This is salted butter, and we are going to beat the butter at medium to high speed until the butter becomes light and fluffy. Next, I will beat in 1 cup or 200 grams of regular granulated sugar, and I'm going to add the sugar gradually. Then one at a time, I will beat in 4 large room temperature eggs. Now I need to scrape down the bottom and sides of the bowl. And then I will continue beating until this mixture turns light and fluffy. Now, in a separate bowl, I need to whisk together 2 cups or 240 grams of regular all-purpose flour plus 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and a half teaspoon of regular table salt. In another small bowl, I need to whisk together a half cup or 113 grams of milk, a tablespoon of brandy, this is optional, a tiny splash of rose water. Oh, it smells wonderful. And a squirt of lavender extract. I also want to add about a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Now I need to alternately beat in the flour mixture and the milk mixture, beginning and ending with the flour. Going to give this one final good mix with a spatula. And then we can pour the batter into the prepared pan. And into the oven it goes for 60 to 65 minutes or until a skewer inserted in the cake comes out clean. And while the cake is baking, I'm going to clean up my workstation, and then you and I can head up to the garden to continue planting potatoes. In one of last week's videos, we planted Yukon Gold potatoes through this area, and I know I have one spot over here that was not planted. Yukon Gold potatoes are determinate, meaning they only produce one layer of potatoes just above the seed potato, so you do not have to plant them any deeper than 4 to 6 inches. And I always add a little balanced fertilizer if I can open the bag. I always like to give the potatoes a head start by adding a little balanced fertilizer. This is red Norland. It's another determinate potato. And I love the bright red eyes on the potato. Yukon Gold and red Norland are excellent storage potatoes. If stored in a cold, dry, and well-ventilated environment, these potatoes can remain fresh and delicious for up to 9 months. And just like that, the potatoes are planted. Let's head back to the house and start working on that 19th century table. So this is the gate leg table. We bought this about 20 years ago at auction, and I'm going to bring it outside, open it up, and you can see how it works, and then we will clean it up and shine it up. Actually, before we start this project, I need to fetch the cake from the oven. Our cake is done after 60 minutes. I'm going to let it cool on this wire rack, and when it's completely cool, we can unmold it, decorate it, and then enjoy it for afternoon tea. Let's go back to the table. So this looks like a very small table, but in fact, it can seat 6. So this is one of those brilliant 19th century designs. Now the first job is to thoroughly dust the table. And I'm just using a microfiber cloth here. Next, I want to thoroughly rub this tabletop with odorless mineral spirit substitute and a fine-grade steel wool pad. Mineral spirits is very useful for cleaning antique wood. It dissolves dirt and old wax, but it does not harm the existing finish. I'm going to let this table dry for about 15 minutes, then we will come back and hit it with something else. The mineral spirits have dried, so now I'm going to rub the table legs and top with mineral oil. Mineral oil is a terrific sealant. Besides sealing the wood against moisture, mineral oil feeds the wood and stops it from drying out. Also, it gives the wood a pleasant sheen. I think this table came out beautifully. I'm going to let the mineral oil dry for about a half hour. Then I will come back, have another look at the table, and see if it needs another coat of either mineral oil or paste wax. And while the table is drying, might as well go inside and try to practice piano. Feel free to skip over this next section. Well, I think the table looks great, but it still needs more of a shine. So I'm going to rub it with paste wax. Then we will let that dry for about 10 minutes and buff it to a glorious sheen. Let's buff this table to a rich shine. If you want a good arm workout, be sure to buff wax on a 19th century table. Now the table looks great to me here in the sunshine, but I want to see what it looks like in the parlor. So let's bring the table indoors. And here is the table in its rightful position. I think it turned out fantastically well. Of course, all of that buffing, I have built up an appetite. Let's go prepare our cake and tea. So we can unmold the cake, which again smells just fantastic. Setting on a rack so we can glaze the cake. For the glaze, I'm using 2 cups or about, what is that? 200 grams of confectioner's sugar, which I will sift. And a splash of cream, because I want a white glaze. A touch of lemon extract. a touch of vanilla extract, I'm looking for a smooth, pourable consistency. This is a good consistency right here. Now, just for fun, and because I have it, I'm going to add some luster dust. This is edible glitter, and this is I guess, lavender color. We discussed this luster dust in a previous video. I can link that video, if I find it, in the description below. Now, before the cake dries, I want to add some lavender blossoms and some rose petals. These are the dried organic lavender blossoms and rose petals that we purchased on Amazon, and I vacuum sealed them in jars. While we are waiting for this icing to dry, I'm going to re-vacuum seal my jars, brew some tea, and then we can enjoy cake and tea in the herb garden. Orange spice tea. I buy this at Tierra Farm. Please join me in the garden. One of my favorite things to do is to enjoy afternoon tea with you. I love this orange spice tea. Cannot wait to tuck into this cake. Oh my goodness, this pound cake is everything it should be. Moist and dense and totally delicious. I think I could live on this pound cake. Thank you so much for spending time with me today as we finished planting the potatoes and we restored that 19th century gate leg table. My arm is still sore from buffing the wax on the table. And of course, we made this glorious cake. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I can put a couple of my other videos at the end of this one that you can enjoy between now and my next upload. Until then, please treat yourself well, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, friends.